Everybody should have this device. They should have a PC. The PC will be hopefully operational. We have a terrible time getting these PCs to the locations. The first thing you do is you go out to find a battery you're going to charge. I suggest you make up something like this. Leave it at the location where you took the batteries from, so that in case they go there to pull the batteries, they don't just zero ship a battery. If you leave a sign there, it'll tell them the batteries are here. Bring the batteries here and open them all up. Always facing in the same direction. That way, all the positives are on the same side, all the negatives are on the same side. Basically, the daisy chaining together. One battery to the next, one battery to the next. Doesn't matter whether you use black wires, red wires, or just wires. So you go from positive on battery 1 to negative on battery 2. Positive to negative. Take over.
Why would these be charged in series like that?
Sorry.
Why would they be charged in series instead of being set parallel?
If it doesn't fit, you can put two of these together, make it a little bit longer.
Because this, how's it going to recognize the voltage then?
We have to tell it.
Okay. So you can tell how many batteries it has.
I'm going to tell it how many. I'm going to tell it how many volts they are, and how many batteries I'm charging.
Okay.
Okay, now we have a positive left and a negative left, right? The two of them that are the same. Yeah, that should be right. They're both the same?
If you're doing this, shouldn't you kind of have I mean, some of these should have been made black red, right?
We have black ones and we have red ones, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because it's called positive, direct, negative.
They're just.
Okay. Well, it would have seemed if they were designed to be run in series, these all would have been produced with one red, one black.
You would think so, yes.
Yeah.
So what number is this now?
8.
8?
Right here.
Number 8 is now registering. It says there's 128.4 volts, which means that we've got 10 batteries. Each of these are at 12.8. Right? You follow me? The math?
Mm-hmm.
On average. Yeah.
On average. Okay. So we have a sheet. You look up the part number. Part number
0531.
0531. 780531. It says it's a 4 amp battery, right? You can also pretty much tell that because it's usually right in built into the part number, right? What is it? Yeah, MG4. Okay, that 4 usually designates the amps. So you come over here to the computer. You double click on this program here to launch it. I've already got it running.
I don't think we dare go off of usually though.
What's that?
If someone's not confident on what exact battery amp hours are, I mean, if it's like a 4.5 or something like that, they don't put 45. Yeah, let's make sure. That,
Yeah. So we were at number 8.
Yes.
You highlight number 8. You right click. Say start. It says there's all the different amp batteries that we have, right? We need a what battery?
4.
A 4 amp. We select the 4 amp program. We say run. Now, this is how many batteries? How many do we have? 10, right? 10? Run. It clicked. It's now running. It's charged.
That's it.
That's it.
Training done.
Training done.
Can you do it again?
Right? You can have 4 leads coming to 80 batteries. 4 times 20, 80, right? So you have all 4 leads, set all 4 of them up to do the same charge on all the batteries.
So it's only 20 per lead.
20 per lead. I mean, if you want to do, if you want to do 480 batteries, all the same, you can do that. Or you can do 24 different amperages of batteries.
And this is probably obvious, but you know, when you hook yours up, these you're going to eventually have racks here for your batteries. Don't attach these to the rack.
Well, what I am proposing, I don't like the setup in Texas,
Okay.
because they have them all tied
Tethered down.
to the rack, and if you put a pallet in there and you want to charge 60 batteries, you can't, because you only have 1 lead per pallet location. So what I recommended she do here is just build something back here, like a pegboard, with 24 pegs sticking out of it. We number them just like we are here, each what the lead is. We just take the lead, spool it up a little bit, hang it on the peg, so that when you're not using it, you know where they're at all the time. You just grab it and take it out to the whatever it is that you charge.
Meaning they're not lying on the floor, they're
Right.
on the pegboard.
How long will it take to charge, Mike? How long?
2 hours. 2-hour cycle.
One location.
So if you wanted to, you could do this routine. You charge 480 batteries 4 times during the day, course of an 8-hour day. Not really, because it'd probably take you an hour to daisy chain them all together again, but you know.
Theoretically, you can have the first week of the month that when you get through with your battery.
My suggestion would be you start getting your batteries in a sequence where every day or once a week you're doing a series of batteries, so it's not a big push all the time. Now that'll change as they come in. You get a truckload of batteries, and guess what? They're all 90 day. But that doesn't mean you can't go at 30, 60, and 90.
Right.
It has to be done by 90. Doesn't mean you can't start at 30.
Right. Now, as everybody knows, hopefully, if you don't, I'll tell you now, when batteries arrive, when they're delivered, when you get them, I don't care whether you get them on a transfer or whether you get them from overseas. You get them, you test 10% of them, right? If anything fails and they have 10%, you got 100 batteries, you're going to test 10 of them with one of these testers, right? If any of them fail, we charge them all. But we also put the receiving date, right? And when we store them in the bin, we put the receipt date in the location hold field, right? We put 2/16 or something, 2/15 for month and a year, right? Now, after we've charged them, we query up this part number in inventory, right? Highlight the part, gives you the detail down below. You click status change. You go to the tab is called dates and whatever it is, dates, and there's a field in there called best buy date, right? Meaning these are they're like a lot now. They're only good until this date, and you put the date that you charge them in that field, right? And then we can run reports. We do that for all of our inventory. We can go into reports as a report that we can run. It'll give us all of our batteries. It'll show us the part number, the description, what the hold code is, how old they are, and it'll also show us the last date we charged them.
And that one registers under move also. Where you enter that under move,
Oh,
right?
now under status change.
No, but you have to put a move, remember?
Oh yeah. You have to assign a reason code. When you're doing the status change, you have to assign a reason code. So just maybe I'll create a new reason called battery or charge or something.
Now, if you get a transfer of batteries, where do you put them? What date do you put on them, and how do you process those through the system? If it's a transfer of batteries, you need to believe that they are the oldest batteries you have and the first ones you want to ship, because we can't transfer the date information from the other warehouse to you. So if you get a transfer of batteries, those are the first batteries that you ship out the door.
Couldn't they just literally put a sticker on the thing saying this is the date on those batteries from the? Just as a process.
You could. Yeah. Slap it on the side, but then when it gets broken down at receiving, because when we transfer, we don't just transfer one kind. So
Sure, you can
when
have
they get
all
broke down at receiving, it's just easier. They're the oldest ones. Just like in Texas, any batteries that are returned are definitely the oldest, and they're the first ones that need to go back out the door. Once they've been tested and charged in the returns department, they come back over.
When that puts a tag on it, that's going to put a newer tag.
Yes.
That's going to be.
That's why your location hold code is so important, so that you are pulling from your oldest batteries first.
These are done in series, and you might end up having something like where a battery got pulled out there, or whatever, a box in here backwards. You might want to have a video and show somebody if one of these is hooked up wrong, how bad that is. Or
I think as soon as you touch it to the wrong one,
you
it's
could
going to
weld
arc.
with those terminals right there. Now that this is not 12 volts anymore, it's 120 volts. You could weld with that. I mean, it's serious. It's a lot of power.
The power running to this battery charger is equivalent to the power that's running to your house.
Right.
It is a lot of power.
But this just, instead of being a 12 volt battery now, is a 120 volt battery. It is way more dangerous than. And if one of these things is hooked up backwards, you're going to cook that thing like that. So it's not going to be.
What would happen if, let's say, this battery is only 10 volts? The other ones are 12 volts. Is that thing
On a
tell
battery
me?
ticker, it kicks out. I gotta imagine this thing do the same thing.
Would this tell me if this one's low on charge or?
It's not going to be able to know
it's
that one
charging.
battery is.
No.
It's going to charge all of them kind of sequential. That's why it seems a little weird to me that these aren't put parallel, where all the other batteries are going to try to bring that thing up. This is only going to bring current through to each sort of equally, I guess. But
Yeah. Now on the outbound side, right? We're supposed to be doing the load test now on every battery before it leaves us. So, how do you do a load test?
1, 2, 3.
Right. You hook it up to the positive, negative terminals. It tells you how many volts it is presently. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tells you it's a good battery. How many volts does it have now? It's like, I wish it was digital, but it's not. Looks like it's about 12 and a half. So we have labels at the ship stations. It says this battery was shipped on this date, right in today's date. 12.5 volts. Yeah, and you stick the label right here on the battery.
It's a really good battery. We just tested at a higher amp hour, and this is a 4.
Are we headed up instead of down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, gotta reset, pull it off and reset.
Yeah. This little switch here, and it's in the instructions that I've sent out to everybody, but
It's still testing good.
yeah,
So if you have it in a high setting and it tests good, you're good to go.
yeah.
Now it's lower. Okay, that's good. 5.
Now that you tested it, you got to charge it.
So if it's a
You just took all.
so if it's a
only good for 2 tries.
if it's a 5 amp or less, you put it on this switch. If it's above 5 amp, you put it on the top switch. Like you said, it really won't hurt it either way. The reading may be a little bit slightly inaccurate, but it's not going to hurt it.
Gotta call it 2 G.
Now there was some comments about whether we should place that label that this thing was tested and shipped in this date here or here. What's your feelings on that?
I think outside.
Outside the box, way easier to see.
Yeah, because when it's on my dealer's shelf, if they're doing their job and charging them, it's a whole lot easier for them to check off of that date that's on the outside than opening the lid on all. So if it's on the outside, one, as soon as they receive it, they know it's good, and then they can put it in an order on their shelf if they're keeping them labeled in their stock. If they're doing their own, then they know where it's at.
Yeah, I agree. I think he went on the outside because the whole goal here is to bring confidence back and
Yeah, it's nice for the
pick
end
up that
consumer to
battery
see it
and
on
go,
the inside.
wow, it was tested and charged on this day instead of, oh wait, I don't
End
know if it's
consumer
good or
might be
not.
happy to see that label on the inside, but you're also dating that battery when you put a date on the outside too. So if it sits at my dealer's shelf for 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, when it goes to a customer, he's already looking at that. So it needs to be something we need to train our dealers to peel those off at the point of sale so the customer doesn't see how long it's been sitting in the shop. But if it's on the outside, it's easier for my dealer to put it on the charging location too.
My thought is also we ought to have on all of our batteries a little peel off the date code deal for warranty, so that, I mean, you've got 2 years on this, you've got 1 year on these other ones now, so that we're not warrantying batteries just because we're cool guys that are 2 years old. And I know that being fulfillment, we would end up having to have a process. If you got a drop ship order, someone would have to open it up and pull off the appropriate date code. But I think it would cut down on the amount of battery warranties we do. Which I say I know that there are a lot of reps that do a lot of frivolous battery warranties. And
Well, hopefully that's what this is. The goal of this is so that you can get out of having to do that. You know, we've lost so much confidence in BikeMaster True Gel batteries that it's so easy for us to go, well, I'll give you a credit. But if we can start proving and showing that this product works and it's good and it's solid, then this confidence is going to come back. And I think some of those credits are just going to go away because of it. You're not worried about a year-old or a 2-year-old battery because they're working.
The problem what he's
sure
talking about
what
is we've
these
got guys that
numbers
do
are,
battery
but I wouldn't
credits
be surprised
because
if somewhere
you need a pair of gloves for free, and it's hey, I'll just clean your battery. You take what you like.
That's why they got to come back now.
But it doesn't
Yeah,
say when
but
you
then I
battery.
got
This thing
complaints
sits
on that
here
too
for
because
8 months, sit
processing
at the
time
dealer
on
for a year and a
returns.
half
I used to just get the credit
before
for
it gets
battery,
sold.
and
And then,
pack it up. I got to ship
you know,
it back.
what we need is from
Process
the date of
return
sale
before I
is
get the
the
credit back
years.
on a battery that I already had to give somebody else.
So
out the door.
we have to obviously make sure that our dealers are way overstocked on batteries and have the access to that for this also. But having a way to say,
Kind of like,
other
you know,
than
we've done all this
invoice,
stuff in all
this
these
is
warehouses,
exactly
big
what the
modules,
sold.
so I'm going back to start that.
Retail,
So we will be getting that under
autos
control
or something
very
like that.
quickly.
Well, it's going to say what year.
They
yeah.
do have
what year?
a
Pop that little part out. What month?
48-hour
Pop that part out.
policy,
The warranty
but they are
starts.
just out of compliance.
So
So,
it
one,
would
we're
be-
going to get
it would
them back
be
in compliance.
Another step,
48
obviously,
hours,
for fulfillment
credit's
here,
done.
and also
then
with the
we're gonna
dealer,
start
they would
working on
make
how to become more efficient.
it would
Yeah.
make it certainly make sense.
And I can bring it up later because something I've been asked before is, would it be possible to add another DC
When you go to Walmart,
that
though,
can
they
handle
pop
returns
up.
as well instead of shipping everything back from one warehouse where there's obviously a bottleneck? Could we have 2 or 3 DCs that can process
I think
returns
it's
so
the
we can
date of the
split that
battery, not
crushing load out of one DC?
It's a good question to bring up. I'd like to get that on the board too.
Okay, because I think that would speed a lot. You know, if my guys are regionally doing returns to Bolingbrook, you know, somebody else is sending their stuff to California, and they've got Texas, that would have to alleviate a massive load and time process to make. That was my original theory, but I was trying to take a step
do that,
back.
and it was worse. 'Cause one thing about having it centralized is as soon as you start to be centralized,
anything.
Yeah, there's variances in what somebody allows us to return. Send this one back to Texas because they're